One of my favorite strikes in the basic series, and basically the motion that really ties everything together, is the figure eight. The figure eight strike is pretty common and predominant in a good majority of the moves that you're going to do. For example, you're doing a diagonal 1, diagonal 2. Well, you'll notice you're moving in a figure eight motion. Doing a horizontal 3 and 4. Again, you're moving in a figure eight, just on a different axis. Or horizontal. The Sankiti strikes, figure eights. So as you can see, the figure eight is really one of the most important fundamentals you can learn. It ties all of your strikes and your motions and your movements together. And there are more exotic and more advanced ways of doing figure eights and incorporating them. But we're going to talk about the basic fundamentals at this level to give you an idea of how you can increase flexibility in your wrists, which is probably going to be one of the most challenging areas, is getting that wrist flexibility and strength. You're going to find that as you do figure eights, they will definitely tire your arms out and make your wrists sore a little bit, which is normal. Just remember, if it starts hurting, you probably want to lay off a little bit. You don't want to overdo it. Don't try to win the war in one day. You want to develop your body and your flexibility over time. So with that, let's start with the reverse. Forward. One thing I want to point out is you want to make sure that you have a good grip on the stick. We're not twirling the stick with our fingers, trying to be fancy doing this. Yeah, you can do some pretty interesting, fancy spins and twirls. However, the grip is not very good, and it's not recommendable. If you're doing a demonstration and you want to do some nice, fancy little nifty things, that's okay. You can do that. It's not bad for doing demos. However, in a combat situation, you want that flexibility to be in your wrists. You want to maintain your grip. The more you do this, the more your wrist will get flexible. At first, it will feel awkward, and you're just going to have to work through that. Your arms are going to pop, and your joints are going to creak and groan and make funny sounds. That's normal. Just shake it out. Again, don't overdo it. Don't hurt yourself in your training, because if you hurt yourself, your training will pretty much stop. So you want to train for the longevity and gradual increase. Start slow. Notice how I'm moving my elbow. You can exaggerate these movements. That's perfectly okay. And you can tighten it up. Smaller circles. Exaggerated. And that's your figure eight. I would encourage you to practice this a bunch. This is probably the one drill, one technique that I would say that is probably going to help you develop your flexibility the most. Getting that figure eight motion down. Remember, you can do exaggerated, using your elbow and your arm, bringing your body into it. Or you can do tight. The tighter it goes, the more flexibility it requires. Obviously this doesn't require a whole lot of flexibility. As you bring those circles tighter, that figure 8 infinity loop tighter and smaller, it's going to tax your wrist, and it's going to take more flexibility to do that effectively. And that is your figure 8.